MD of LADOL made a brief presentation on the operations of LADOL Free Zone, while the chairman took the honorable members through what the company has been able to achieve so far.
Actually, the very first job that was done in LADOL has to do with the field. It's called Akbani Field, Sherman Texaco Field, and the FPSO, which is the unit through which the production is done on stores abroad, was of course built in Korea, I think. But the installation needed to be completed locally, and the technique was looking for a suitable location to do this work. They looked everywhere, and they were on the verge of going to the Gulf of Mexico to do the work. When they saw LADOL, they came, checked us out, and that job, the technique was an $800 million job with a put abroad. It was done here, it was done with time and within budget. Since then, something that actually we didn't have in contemplation because I wasn't aware of the need, is to do with the refurbishment of rigs. Now, LADOL is now known for doing the kind of comprehensive overhaul of rigs that it previously was done in Nigeria. So apart from what we knew LADOL be essential for, which is increasing volumes of work related to all the requirements in the deep offshore, we now have one of the things that we didn't even know about when we started.
What efforts is the organization making to make sure that if this bill comes to place, that we will have the ship that will be able to be accepted internationally? We will not just have makeshift ships so that eventually we will cut off from the international market. Again, you mentioned that you have collaboration with Samsung. I wonder if your organization was in Houston when we had the UTC, and if we were able to make inroad among the committee of nations that came in with their various companies. I'm talking about fabrication and all you do here. What percentage of our people, indigenous people, are buying into what you are doing? Thank you.
Thank you, madam. The first question I think has to do with cabotage and vessels and so on. As I mentioned, we've always had it as a plan, but it's now on the front burner. Because as with much else, in order for cabotage to truly be successful, again, we need massive increase in indigenous ship owning and operating capacity. And that was why I said when someone asked about Niger Dock is that they're doing whatever it is they're doing, but since there's a massive gap between demand for example, vessels and supply, our plan is now come to fruition.
In the country. Similarly, the rig job
to international standards. As you know very well, any activities to do with oil and gas, whether it's in Nigeria or Angola or indeed the North Sea oil fields, there's only one standard, partly because the same companies are operating everywhere, but more importantly because the standards of HSC that the oil companies insist on is probably, or certainly amongst the highest anywhere. So whether it's in ship repair, shipbuilding, every facet of what you see in LADOL, you can assume has passed muster with the oil companies. And this will extend. And of course, well, I'm still talking about Samsung only because they are our largest partner. We are partnering in every sphere, whether it's pipe coating, whether it's accommodation, building, technology. We are partnering only with the very, very best and the companies that are at the leading edge of this business. Otherwise, it's a waste of time because the oil companies suddenly look at you, unless they see that your standards are the same at the very minimum. You could be higher if you want, but no less than their standards in everything. And lastly, in terms of local participation, local employment, the reason that I've been emphasizing indigenous ownership management and driving of economic efforts in Nigeria is because it is only indigenous Nigerians that will, of course, rather employ, even if it's Nigerians in the diaspora. Of course, that's our first consequence for many, many, many reasons. For many, many reasons. So, at the core of all our activities is absolutely maximizing towards local content. Is a very comprehensive shorthand for many, many things, which certainly includes having as a focus, first and foremost, Nigeria's interest.
When we talk about industrialization, Mr. Chairman, it is not just having industries running 24/7. It's all about developing the economy. And how do we develop the economy? To create jobs for teeming Nigerian youths who are yearning to get into places where they can work. What is the staff strength? And now that you have relationship, you understand, possibly maybe a facility online with Bank of Industry. Is there any kind of opening since you have this understanding? What value as Bank of Industry, you understand, have on the operation? Have they been able to increase or maybe increase on the level of job creation? Because that is one of the pertinent things, you understand, that bothers the mind of not only government, but the government as well.
Okay, I think I'll take part of your second question first, which is the Bank of Industry, because it's very important. The support that we've gotten from Bank of Industry truly can't be overstated, for the simple reason that, as I'm sure you're aware more than myself, they are probably one of the financial institutions that are in a position to support with long-term and relatively concessionary cost capital. And one of the major challenges to invest in a place like LADOL are twofold. One, the massive nature of the investment called for, as you can see. And second, the fact that locally we have very shallow capital market, we have very, very negligible domestic savings and so on. And even for the most serious businessmen to embark on a capital-intensive, long-term project without the support of the Bank of Industry would be practically impossible. Now, their support, of course, extends far beyond just the money they're able to lend us. It extends to assisting in finding foreign partners. It extends to giving us advice as financial experts and so on. So I think one wouldn't overstate the case by saying that without their support, this huge task would have been almost impossible. So I really want to acknowledge their assistance, which of course is ongoing because it's an interactive kind of cooperation and association. And as I said, it's been critical to whatever we're able to achieve.
Mr. Isaac Ofu, a general manager with the Bank of Industry, gave a brief history on the bank's relationship with LADOL.
Our journey with LADOL started about 4 years ago when the company approached us for a facility. You can imagine how this place was 4 years ago. And apart from the warehouse, the older warehouse that we saw, every other place was fairly big. But then we keyed into the vision of LADOL as a place that we needed to put it on ground for the development of the oil and gas industry. So we appraised the project then, and we granted the company a facility of about $17.8 million. As of today, the company has been able to repay over $5 million. So what we have there now is about $12.34 million. They are definitely on the ground to service the facility, and we have not really had any major problem getting them to service the facility. I believe the chairman has actually covered me up when he explained the relevance of the company. I may just add that we saw the vision, as I said, and definitely this is a hub that we really need to develop for the oil and gas industry. The fabrication that we are talking about, there's no way a rig can be repaired without major fabrication. I mean, we saw the rig when it came in, and when it was leaving, definitely was a totally different equipment. So what we are really out for at Bank of Industries, we have to provide the necessary support for the development of every sector of the economy. As a matter of fact, apart from a facility like this, we want to fund hotel industry. It's part of our mandate because we know that it is an essential aspect of any development, of any economy. So our involvement in LADOL was actually to provide a foundation for the development of the oil and gas sector. And we believe this ambition, which we have shared with LADOL, has already come to fruition, and the impact will be felt more in the near future.
Speaking with the members of the press, Ms. Jadesimi, MD of LADOL, shared some of the company's profile and expectations.
We were able to attract international and local companies to do work here which they had previously not done in Nigeria, and we're able to participate in these industries ourselves. What we've invested so far is over $100 million. What we're expecting to invest in the next 2-3 years is $500 million. It's going to go into onshore FPSO integration. It's going to go into more rig repair and ship repair. It's going to go into shipbuilding, and it's going to go into supporting some specialized activities such as pipe coating and so on that the chairman alluded to.
The chairman, House Committee on Industry, could not hide his joy at the success rate recorded by the company in its 6 years of operation.
People with vision, people with dreams that can better the growth of Nigeria industrially need to come forward with ideas that are bankable. LADOL came up with a bankable idea after 6 years of operation. BOI came, assessed what they had, and looked at the value additions and opted to help him. And you and me will agree today that we are not disappointed with what we have seen. 700 Nigerians were employed to do a job here within a very short time. Now he has a staff strength of over 1,000. This is something we are looking for. This is another Dangote in another sector. So I'm calling on Nigerians who have the means, who have the heart to want to do something, to come forward. Bank of Industries is there to support them. And we in the National Assembly, not only in the House Committee on Industries, will be willing to do everything within our purview to see that we support such initiative. We will create environment that such operations will continue. That is the only way we can grow. That is the only way we can get better. And by the grace of God, we are on the march. We will get there in no distant time.